There are different ways to understand this verse because the Lord is everything. Everything emanates from Him. And it's one thing, but also there is love. The love is the most important thing. We want to be safe. We want. We want that the Lord takes care of us. We look for a father. But the connection with the Father is eternal. A father? We cannot embrace him. The relationship with the Father is limited. We cannot do things that are connected really with feelings of love. We cannot completely fulfill our heart. There's a certain limit in the parental relationship. But when love for Krishna awakens, just like the love that the gopis have for Krishna, so this love and this kind of prayer expresses itself in a sense that Krishna, he does everything for his devotee. Because what he sees, what he feels, what he tastes, what he touches is simply his love for Krishna. Everywhere I can see Krishna. One of the names of Srimati Radharani is Krishna Mayi. She cannot see anything but Krishna. She cannot feel anything but Krishna, taste anything but Krishna, hear anything but Krishna. But when there is not this love, we're like in the desert because we're made to swim in such love. For example, earlier I called Shyama. She was on a chair. She was feeling bored. She was sitting on a chair. But why? Because since there's no relationship that is true with Krishna, automatically, when we see the form of Krishna, when we see the form of his devotees, when we hear the glories of his devotees, there's no love that awakens. When love awakens, what happens? We are happy. It's just like a party, like a festival. We're happy to meet people. We want to do a festival. We want to dance. We want to do a festival. We want to show that we are happy because it's the nature of love. If you love someone and you meet that person, would you, like make him like a angry face, with arms crossed? Yes or no? So why we stay the arms crossed when we worship Krishna? Why? Because there's no love. But when love awakens, Ruchi, and the glories of the Lord pass through the ears, it produces a taste in the heart that gives the desire to be happy, to show that we have love for Him. This is why the devotees of the Lord dance. This is why there is joy. It is because there's a natural expression to dance for Krishna. I dance for you because I love you. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he danced, it is explained that the limbs of the Lord were so beautiful. The movements of the Lord were so fascinating. His feet were so fascinating. His angle bells, the sun was so fascinating. The tears that flew from his eyes were so fascinating. People never saw such beautiful thing before. Even when the Lord wanted to be alone, there were millions of people following him because people, they forgot everything as soon as they saw the Lord. Everything was, they rejected their family, everything. It was so powerful to the point that the Lord was obliged with his mystic powers to disappear. He disappeared. And as soon as he would disappear, people would become mad. They became mad because they lost their object of love, their life itself, their life and soul. These people didn't even have the need to sleep or eat. They were simply intoxicated by love of God. And as soon as the news was heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was appearing somewhere else, they will run like madmen, millions of people. It's like they will come and get their life again. They couldn't even, everything was broken, even barriers. They were like elephants was breaking everything on their path, on their way. But as soon as Mahaprabhu, as soon as they will meet Mahaprabhu, again, they were dancing. And Mahaprabhu was raising his arms and he was chanting, Haribol, Haribol. There were millions of people. It was, the vibration was crossing the whole universe. They were chanting the names of Hari. It's so powerful. But this meeting is possible. When you chant, meditate on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, hear in it yourself, Gaura, Gaura, Gaura. The Lord, He has this golden form. Narottam, when he received the treasure of love of God, he had foam coming out of his mouth. He was completely intoxicated. His body became like gold. And he could just say, go, go, go. If you have this impression that is in you to chant, so you'll be intoxicated by the spiritual world. You'll make an experience, you will get out of this morbid, like zombie condition, sleepiness. This body is so heavy. As soon as we think that I am this body, it's so many problems. But as soon as we meditate on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's the Lord Krishna who comes back in the age of Kali to spread His love. As soon as we meditate on Him, everything is easy. We don't know why, but we become intoxicated. We want to dance and dance and dance. Even when we chant, we dance. There's such joy. There's like an ecstasy that comes to take us and that awakens us, that makes us dance. We obtain so much mercy. It is such a wonderful experience. As soon as we feel the feelings of Mahaprabhu in us, so we are completely attracted, stupefied. And it's really simple because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very merciful. So we can say, but why it's not happening to me? It is because we don't desire it enough. Because as soon as we chant like ourselves, Gaura Hari, Gauranga, love appears in the heart. And then we can dance. It's easy. Because as soon as love comes, no matter what we do, it is an expression of love. This is why we must dance. It's really important. We should meditate on Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, his dance was so beautiful, so beautiful. We see, for example, this song of Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a painting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can meditate on songs and chant at the same time because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna. So the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare is Shrimati Radharani. Krishna is there. But since Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna combined, naturally, as soon as we chant the Maha Mantra and we meditate on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so ecstasy and love of God becomes manifest in the heart. Our discipline is easy. It is not an austerity. Because on our own, we can't obtain much. But to go to a better condition, what is the most difficult to receive is to a condition of begging. When we become qualified to beg, and we have to desire to obtain, so the intelligence comes and the attitude comes in our heart. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the third verse of Shikshastakam, he said, Tanarapi Sunichena, Tararapi Sarushnina, Amadina Maradina Kirtanaya Sadahari. That when the stage comes, when the desire to see the Lord comes to us, the attitude comes at the same time, the good attitude. As long as there's no desire, taste cannot manifest itself. The desire will attract the Supreme Lord. If we desire to meet Him, it will attract Him. But as soon as the Lord shows Himself a little bit, there's humility that manifests in the devotee, tolerance and respect. Humility is what? Humility? It is this disposition when love comes to take us, when we are able to abandon everything. In fact, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nitai, they were raising their arms, what does this signify? It signifies for a devotee to belong. Bring me wherever you want. I'll surrender everything. I don't desire anything. You replaced everything. You are my friend, my brother. You're everything for me. This verse is interesting. This is the condition of humility. You replaced everything. I do not need anything. You replace anything, now you do whatever you wishes with me. As long as we cannot have this faculty in us, we cannot chant without offenses. We have pride because we have a property. A child is to me, is my father, is my kingdom. And there's pride. And with pride we cannot progress. But as soon as this devotion ecstasy comes, when love comes, what happens? When the Lord appears in our heart, naturally, because He is the origin of everything and He is everything. And there's inconceivable love that manifests in us. So what happens? We don't want any other attachment. We aspire for nothing else. Because a part of, like a little fragment of mercy is billions of times more powerful than any experience in this world. Once it is attained, even a little bit, we are afraid of even losing that thing. And we are afraid. Do you believe? Can you believe it? Before it was, like our kingdom was our most cherished asset. For example, the attachment a mother has for her child. Imagine it becomes a fear to be attached to the material world. It's so powerful. And when it's there, we cannot even be conscious when we're illusioned. These millions of people, they forgot everything. Day and night, they forgot the ecstasy. They even forgot to sleep, the devotees of the Lord. It's difficult for us not to sleep. We go to sleep at such time, otherwise we're tired. They forgot to eat. It's difficult for us to stop eating, to forget eating. They forgot to drink. They even forgot they were the body. Can you believe the experience? And day after day. We never saw anything like this. Even when we heard of the glories of the Jesus Christ, it wasn't like that. People were sleeping and eating. The proof is that they were distributing the bread. But Mahaprabhu, the experience is so powerful that he didn't need to eat anymore. Just chanting, dancing. It's so powerful. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everywhere he was going, it was like that. People were attracted. And even like unfavorable people, demoniac people, it was explained that they were rolling on the ground and they were screaming, shouting, and crying and rolling on the ground. Even powerful demons, people who can really cut your head. When I speak about hard people, it's really hard, like Al Qaeda, things like that. They can, in front of a TV, a child of 9 years old can cut your throat. They play football with their heads. We speak of people like that. Even those people, they were rolling on the ground and they were screaming. This is why we need to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Krishna is justice. Yatamam Prabhadante, simply, he will give you what you have in your heart, but we have nothing. Krishna, we cannot meet him because his kingdom is pure and people who live with him are pure. But Mahaprabhu, he comes intoxicated by the state of mind of Srimati Radharani and he looks himself. He's searching for himself and he distributes himself. You understand, this principle is intoxicated by him on his own and we have to ask him, otherwise nothing happens. There will be no ecstasy. You will stay simply absorbed in sleep and tiredness with heavy eyes. It's hard. It's really like, sleep is terrible when it falls on your head. It's just like a weight. It's more and more heavy. And it's like, and you cannot even listen to him anymore because it's so painful. And you do like this. I remember when I was living in another temple, there were devotees, they were walking around not to sleep in the class. They were slapping their face. Like that. But why? Because there's no love. We cannot cheat people. When there's no love, we are forced to sleep, forced to eat, forced to drink, because this is not love that maintains our life. It doesn't mean we have to stop. That doesn't mean we should not search. But we should not cheat to which door we knock. Krishna is justice. But Mahaprabhu is mercy. Because it's the same Krishna that searches himself and that distributes himself. The Acharyas explain that when the Lord Krishna comes in this form, he asks for everyone to help him because he cries. He cries, says, "Oh, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna?" The breath of my life. Where is he? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cries. And he takes the hand of whomever. He says, "I need you. Help me to search Krishna." And this is why this personality is unique, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because it's really easy. It's extremely easy. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes your hand, after your material life is finished, it's just like connecting ourselves to a like electric central of love. So what happens after in you will be uncontrollable. And people, they say, what? They say this person is crazy. When you start crying, when you start shouting, to roll on the ground, people will say he's a madman. And the saints will say that person contracted something very bad. This is why, by dancing, by trying to dance, I cannot even dance anymore. I cannot do anything, I cannot dance anymore. This is my punishment. But by trying to dance, by chanting the pure name, so we can please Mahaprabhu. And if Mahaprabhu is happy of our dancing, so He will manifest a taste, a very special taste in our heart. And then we will be able to meditate on His dancing. It will come. He will inspire us. We will feel it's very close. And then we'll develop love, attachment. There will be no more problems. Once love is there, there's no more problem. We don't care about coronavirus, this or that. We don't care because we become truly intoxicated. And fear cannot take us anymore. It's finished. Fear is there when there's no love. No matter what will happen to us, because the goal is there. When we have attained the goal, we can die in 30 minutes, no matter, because we become a realized soul. A realized soul. Everything happens inside, not externally. In reality, Krishna introduces into his kingdom. He can see in his spiritual form. He can see the spiritual form of the Lord. He can see the Lord and do his service even in this body. There's no more fear because he's not part of this world. It is a very powerful experience. From there, you can leave your body in 5 minutes, 1 year, or in 10 years. You know you're already liberated. You know you already attained this reality. Because it is a direct experience. It's not mental faith. You understand? Sometimes, often, the religious people, they have a belief. They believe, but they don't have the experience. But the Bhakta, he has the experience. He lives already on this transcendental platform. And this is the difference. Before, we're not a Vaishnava. We're a religious person. What we say and what we experience is two different things. But when we speak about the experience, then we're a true Vaishnava. And Vaishnava means that we wake up to a reality. It's not complicated. What we do is simply what the Lord Chaitanya and his associates gave us. They gave us a mean to awaken ourselves, to awake our reality. This is why we are there. But why do we continue? Because we feel that it is true, that it is real. We feel that there is the experience. And as soon as we go back to the external world, we see people they run after like mirages, people they've done for again and again for millions of existence. Prahlad Maharaj, he says it's like vomiting and eating your own vomit, because we do the same thing every time. Sex life, this and that, always the same thing, but we are never happy, never. It always finishes wrong. So at some point, the Lord makes so that we receive this intelligence to stop and to be serious. And it is once we're serious that we desire to meet the Lord. And from there, He comes to us. And gradually, we become detached of this world. It's not that we reject living beings, because often ordinary beings, they have difficulty to understand what is detachment. It's not that we reject living entities. We reject the illusory relationship we have with Him. We establish a transcendental relationship with living beings. It's different. This is another topic. So, let us try to chant with the remembrance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and our life will be a success. Try. Read the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chant, read, and infuse with yourself with Mahaprabhu. You see, your chant will be easy. It's much easier. Even things that seem common. But as soon as we chant about Mahaprabhu, it is so easy. Our life is so easy. And then, at this point, we can chant the holy name without offense. After, we can meet Radha and Krishna. Because in the heart of Mahaprabhu, there is this pastime of Radha and Krishna that manifests itself continuously. When we have the mercy of Mahaprabhu, we are introduced in Vrindavan. And we have to pass through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but before Mahaprabhu, there's the whole disciplic succession. We have to chant under the shelter of our spiritual master. It's really important. Thank you very much.